Hello, this is Mark Silinsky from Kensington Security Consulting, where we bring education to national security. Welcome to the Kensington Weekly, a program that explores Islam's relationship with the world week by week. This is the second week in August 2026. Let's begin with an article by Hugh Fitzgerald at Jihad Watch that tells a compelling and tragic German story. What happened? Marius Dick, a young German, was killed by an Afghan who stabbed him. Dick was walking home after shopping when Afghan asylum seeker Sajad M, 22, sprang from a hedge and plunged a kitchen knife into his heart. The two had never met. Why did Sajad M kill a random pedestrian? According to a public health officer, he was mentally ill. This surprised some who knew him, who described him as a good neighbor and fellow worker. Well, he may have been insane, I don't know, but this is a standard explanation for stabbing, shootings, car ramming attacks, and the whole bouquet of tactics used by Islamofascists. Sometimes Islamofascists are insane, though I would guess not often. Are they controlled by an irresistible impulse? Do they suffer from hallucinations or delusions? Fixed false ideas? This is uncommon. In the United States, it is difficult for accused killers to be acquitted by reason of insanity. Certainly, some people are extraordinarily angry, and Islamofascists are perpetually angry, sometimes homicidal, toward the non believing world. So, I would like to know what the legal criteria for insanity are in Germany. The parents of Marius Dick have taken up his cause by supporting the Alternative for Deutschland, AfD. I've discussed this organization many times. Its leader, Alice Weidel, wants restrictive naturalization laws, stricter deportation rules, tightening of asylum law. Much of the German political system opposes the AfD. A petition from 1,051 lawyers, judges, and prosecutors calls for a constitutional ban on the AfD. Germany and much of Europe have strong restrictions on offensive speech. It is often dangerous to criticize Islam or the threats posed by unassimilated migrants. Now let's travel to a sunnier climate, Spain. Last week, I discussed the flood of 60,000 migrants from Morocco into Spain. I asked whether this was an invasion or an invitation. I also noted that some Spanish influencers and politicians place the blame squarely on Israel. This charge continues with fury. It appears in the newspaper The Algeminer. Well-known personalities, including Oscar-winning actor Javier Bardem and Candace Owens, support the claim that Israel orchestrated the sudden mass migration to the Spanish island of Ceuta. Researchers from the Combat Anti-Semitism movement analyzed 173 high-impact posts from 119 influencer accounts, which generated 57.5 million views and 368,400 shares. Bardem, who is Spanish, shared the claim that, and I quote, Israel and the Western far right are eager to turn migration into a weapon against Muslims. Prominent influencers who promote this include the porn actress turned political commentator Mia Khalifa, who, as I understand it, has a significant following. This isn't limited to movie stars and Lebanese porn queens. A German journalist's post on X that neither a genuine humanitarian crisis nor part of an anti-colonial struggle but rather part of the efforts of the increasingly powerful U.S.-Israeli-Moroccan alliance to weaken a progressive European government, divide Europe, and undermine international law. This was published in the American Nation magazine, a Tony left-wing publication. What evidence was provided to support this claim? After all, this is quite a claim. I don't know of any evidence they have shared. Was Mossad involved? If so, how? What were the mechanics of this operation? How did Israel coordinate it? I couldn't find any evidence. Finally, why would Israel promote the mass migration of Muslims into Europe? How could this possibly benefit Israel? What is the logic here? If you have an explanation, I would like to hear it. Well, it might all work out. The new Spaniards will be regularized and fully integrated into the mainstream of Spanish society, right? Well, some will, but it might be a long wait. According to Remix, Spanish police have arrested a 36-year-old Moroccan immigrant for sexually assaulting an autistic minor in the town of Denia. According to La Información, the minor was visiting with her parents when the suspect befriended the family, posing as a Belgian. A short time later, the girl went to the restroom where police say the alleged assault took place. Here is another case. This is a father and son pair of new Spaniards who committed violent robberies targeting three women in Alicante, including two elderly victims who were hospitalized after being thrown to the ground. The father, who has a prior criminal record, was ordered into pretrial detention on Tuesday, while his son was placed in a juvenile detention center. One more story for you. The headline here is Moroccan Muslim murders Spanish girl, his former girlfriend for leaving him. She had split up with him, and according to her parents, Paula was coming back to life. But he would not let her go. Instead, he killed her. Investigators believe the killing followed Paula's recent decision to end their 4-year relationship. The former couple had a child under the age of 1. Officers arriving at the apartment found Paula suffering from severe injuries. Emergency medical workers were unable to save her and confirmed her death at the scene. Well, that's it from sunny Spain for this week. Here is a real howler. Let's go to London town and visit the Bard. One of the greatest plays by one of the greatest playwrights is offered to the public in London, but it comes with a twist. Some might say it is very twisted indeed. The name of the play is Romeo and Hamed, and I will read you the promo as it is written. Romeo and Hamed is a modern queer reimagining of Romeo and Juliet set against the vibrant backdrop of the streets of Croydon, London. The play blends sharp wit and lyrical poetry to tell a story that is as urgent as it is timeless. The story follows two men, Romeo and Hamed, as they navigate the claustrophobic confines of their shared reality, where cultural pressures, family expectations, and religious obligations collide. Well, some of the reviews are strong. From The Guardian, enthralling, fascinating analysis of the human condition. The Stage, a magazine with which I am not familiar, seem to like it too. But I predict there will not be long lines of heavily bearded Muslim men with worry beads or hijab-clad women standing in front of the theater's entrance, waiting for seats to watch Romeo and his beloved Hamed. I don't think many Muslims anywhere are inspired by the subject. I did notice a line in the show's advertisement. It reads, "With special thanks to our queer Muslim focus group." I really do not know what this means. Maybe they vetted the script with the focus group before rehearsal. I am not sure what a queer focus group is. Maybe the play will be promoted in local mosques and Islamic schools. But I suspect not. Let's keep an eye on it. Well, if you see it, please get back to me with your thoughts. It may have artistic value. It might take off and be staged stateside at Columbia or Oberlin. But I am concerned about possible car ramming or throat slashing by offended Muslims. You remember the furor over cartoons of Muhammad and the frothing at the mouth protests. By and large, Muslims do not view the gay lifestyle as cool and liberating. They consider it sick, and gays are regularly threatened with beatings or even death in some Muslim countries. They are tossed off of roofs in Iran and Afghanistan. Well, good luck, Romeo and Muhammad. Hope yours won't be a tale of woe. And speaking of the gay lifestyle, let's go on a sea cruise, all aboard the Scarlet Lady. Ever hear of her? Well, it provides cruises for gays. Let me read the mission statement as it is written. LGBTQIA plus travelers are those who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. A more inclusive LGBT initialism, plus queer or questioning, intersex, or asexual individuals, as well as those who identify beyond these commonly used sexuality and gender expressions. Specific situations and issues may present themselves to travelers who identify with one or more of these terms when visiting Egypt. Okay, I don't know what LGBT initialism is, but let's move on. This is a warning that the Scarlet Lady offers. Egypt is not a safe destination for LGBTQIA plus travelers who wish to openly express their sexuality and slash or gender identity outside of a very rigid heterosexual binary. Discretion is advised for LGBTQIA plus travelers in Egypt. Though homosexuality is not officially outlawed, gay men and transgender individuals have been prosecuted using debauchery and public morals laws and given long prison sentences. Wow, I am intrigued by the term using debauchery. It sounds like it is right out of the Oscar Wilde trial. Well, the LGBTQ cruise ship hit rough waters when it tried to dock in Egypt. They were unwelcome in Alexandria, no luck in Turkey either. Stay away from our shores. So, what happened? Well, Kyle Olson, owner of the booking firm, opined, "This is a sad representation of the way the world is going. Successive governments are falling to right-wing groups, and the rights of LGBT plus people are being taken away as a result across the globe." Really? Is this a statement about the world? Would a gay cruise have been denied entry into the ports of San Francisco or Tel Aviv? They would have been welcome there. As for falling to right-wing groups, I don't think so. Muslim governments did not want gays in their Muslim countries. And Mr. Olson, you know it. So this wraps up the second week of August 2026. Hope you enjoyed this podcast, which does not represent the official position of the U.S. government. Oh, let me plug my new book, Cauldron of Terror, Hamas, Israel, and the World. It is coming out in a few weeks. Until our next podcast, this is Mark Silinsky for Kensington Security Consulting out here.